We're down in D.C. I spent a day and a half down there this week. I fundamentally think a bill is going to get done in the next few weeks. The Democratic senators in earnest want to get something done. The Republican senators in earnest want to get something done. These are complicated bills. I mean, it would be complicated if me and you sat down and tried to write the bill. But when everyone is pushing for their own agenda,
right? Well, let me ask you about the bill, because I think there's maybe many more sticking points than that. But the two that people focus on right now is just what authorities the CFTC has versus the SEC, and perhaps maybe the bigger one. And you hear people like Brian Moynihan get asked about it, and others, just about stable coins and what, how they will work and whether, depending on what they're allowed to be able to do, whether ultimately you're going to have a lot of money coming out of the banking system and what that means to credit in the country.
Yeah, listen, this is an issue that the banks have brought up, and they have an amazing lobbying army, right? So they have come down, and one of the reasons the bill is stalled is the banks are saying, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. If you go to J.P. Morgan right now, or Bank of America, or any of the big banks, and you put money in a savings account, you get about 11 basis points or 1 basis point. So the banks are making a tremendous amount of money holding our savings and depositing at the Fed at 3.5%, 4%. They worry that stable coins could have deposit flight. The reality is,
well, but just to be clear, they worry if stable coins are allowed to effectively accrue interest or some other kind of points or other things, that there would be deposit flight. That is right now. That's the central issue, because they're not allowed to technically yet.
Yes. Or the banks would have to raise their interest, pay the consumer maybe a fair rate, and make less money.